Welcome to our podcast on learning English. Today, we're exploring a question many English learners ask. Why can I understand English but struggle to speak it? Let's dive into why this happens and share some tips to improve your speaking skills. Many learners find they can understand English but get stuck when it's time to speak. This often happens because when we speak, we don't have the luxury of time to think about grammar rules or search for the perfect words like we do when writing. Speaking English fluently is a common challenge. You might be great at writing in English, thanks to the time you have to think about grammar and vocabulary. But speaking is different. You need to respond quickly without the chance to review each grammar rule. Don't worry, improving your speaking isn't impossible. Here are 4 steps to help you speak English more fluently. 1. Learn by topic. Organize your vocabulary and phrases by topic. This method helps you prepare for real-life conversations about a wide range of subjects. 2. Write before you speak. Practice writing sentences on different topics. This exercise allows you to slowly build your comfort with new vocabulary and grammar without the pressure of real-time conversation. 3. Use tools and resources. For those struggling to create sentences, online tools can provide inspiration. Simply input a keyword, and you'll find useful adjectives, verbs, and phrases to enhance your vocabulary. 4. Practice, practice, practice. The key to fluency is regular practice. Find speaking partners, join language exchange groups, or use language learning apps to improve your speaking skills through real conversation. Remember, the goal is to build confidence in your ability to express yourself in English. By focusing on these steps, you'll find it easier to speak English fluently over time. Keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the learning process. Learning to speak English can be daunting, but with the right tools and practices, you can make significant progress. An excellent way to enhance your ability to construct sentences and speak more fluently is by using online tools to build your vocabulary and sentence structure skills. For instance, start with the basics like, I have friends. Then, let's make it a bit more detailed. I have some friends. Now, add an adjective to give it more depth. I have some close friends. Or, I have some intimate friends. You can even talk about the size of your social circle. I have a large circle of friends. Or perhaps, I have a small circle of close friends. Notice how each step adds a bit more information and complexity to your sentence. Another useful construction is using phrases like, a friend of mine. For example, he's a friend of mine, or a close friend of mine works in a restaurant. These sentences help you practice mixing adjectives, verbs, and nouns to communicate more detailed thoughts. When learning these new structures, it's essential to write them down in a dedicated notebook. This method helps you organize your learning by topics, like friendship, making it easier to recall and use the right phrases when you're actually speaking. Now, you might be asking, how do I practice speaking if I don't have someone to talk to? Well, you can talk to yourself. It might sound odd, but practicing speaking alone is a valuable way to improve. Ask yourself questions like, how many friends do you have? And answer them with the sentences you've been practicing. For example, I don't have many friends. I have a small circle of close friends because I'm not very sociable. Practicing speaking, whether alone or with others, is crucial. Just like learning to drive, you can't become proficient without actually doing it. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become in speaking English. Remember, learning a language is a journey, and every step you take is progress. Keep practicing, and soon you'll find speaking English becoming easier and more natural. Have you ever considered talking to yourself in English? It might sound unusual, but it's a fantastic way to practice. Whether you're waiting for a bus, walking, or just lying in bed, seize the opportunity to engage in self-dialogue. Picture yourself in different scenarios and try crafting dialogues or describing things around you. It's a simple and effective way to immerse yourself in the language. Now, a question many of you might have is, if I talk to myself, how will I know I'm doing it correctly? The beauty of this method is that perfection isn't the goal. Practice is. Speaking English, even with mistakes, helps you become more comfortable with the language. As you continue learning, especially grammar, you'll naturally start to notice and correct your errors. For example, after learning a new grammar rule, you might realize a mistake in your previous conversations with yourself and think, so that's how it's supposed to be. This realization sharpens your awareness and gradually improves your language skills. It's all about giving yourself the time and patience to practice and learn. Remember, making mistakes is part of the learning process. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. Even if you're not getting everything right at first, the act of practicing is invaluable. Alongside speaking, don't forget to follow the essential steps for learning English that we've discussed in our previous episodes. We hope you found this lesson helpful. Practice speaking to yourself, embrace the mistakes, and keep learning. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips. See you next time.